Good morning. I welcome you again to Morning Encouragement. I hope, as always, that your day is going well, that you're feeling good today. Maybe you woke up with a good thought on your mind. Over the last couple of months, we've had certainly things to think about, things to worry over. Although we're not to worry and fret, we're supposed to trust the Lord. It's easy to fall into that habit of fretting because things aren't going the way they normally would. But I hope this morning that we can turn that around for you and give you some morning encouragement. That's our purpose of coming with you each morning by video. Thank you again for watching and for commenting and for letting us know that you are enjoying these videos and they're being a help to you. This morning while I was having my devotional, I was in Isaiah chapter 54, and God really spoke to my heart this morning through that time of devotional. I was thinking about how many people have been grumbling and complaining and upset, and with good reason and cause in certain cases. They've been doing all of that grumbling and complaining because of the unusual days that we're facing. But I was encouraged with this, and I wanted to share it with you today from Isaiah chapter 54. The Bible tells us there in verse 13 through verse 15 is my text, Isaiah 54, 13 through 15. These verses challenge me today to remain in touch with my God, even through unusual times. Here's what Isaiah writes. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted, behold, I will lay the stones of fair colors, and lay thy foundation with sapphires. And I will make thy windows of agate, and the gates of carbuncle, and all the borders of pleasant stones. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression. For thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Did you notice as I read these verses, Isaiah 54, 13 through 15, the statement of affliction, tossed with tempest, not comforted, sounds like the conditions many of us have been facing over the last few days and months. We've been going through some unusual times, as we've said, as a result of the spread of coronavirus. But do not miss the promise of God here. Now, I know, I'm not taking this out of context. I know that this is written to the nation of Israel to remind them of although God is chastening them at the time, that he is going to restore them and he's going to bless them. Out of a time of barrenness will come blessing. And we need to remember that. But I know that this was written to the nation of Israel, but I also know that all Scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for me and for you. And so I take the Scriptures as I read them and study them in devotional guides or otherwise and apply them then to my own life. You see, all the Bible study in the world will do us no good if we don't apply the truths that we learn to our own lives. What I've realized here is that God, who never changes, said to his chosen nation, even though you're going through difficult times, there's affliction, there's tempest, there's confusion, don't worry, don't fear, because I am going to take care of you. Now that's the lesson I got out of that this morning, and I wanted to share that with you. Don't miss the promises that God gives in the midst of trouble. You're going to be taught by the Lord. Do you think that God has taught us a few things through this time? I do. Don't rely on material things. Don't rely on this life. We're just passing through. We're going to be taught by the Lord. The other promises he makes are, I'll give peace for your children. I often wonder about what kind of America will my great-grandchildren have to grow up in with all the changes and all the bitterness and all that's going on. And then God assures me that don't worry about it. I'm going to give peace to your children, those who put their faith and trust in me. So he promises to be taught of the Lord during times of struggle. I'll give peace to your children. I will establish you in righteousness, he says. Did you get that? All thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shall thou be established. And then finally he says, far from oppression thou shalt not fear. And as far as terror is concerned, whether it be coming from the news media or from other people, don't let them frighten you. It will be removed and not come near you. God has a solution for our problems. We need to lean on him and trust in him. I wanted to read just a paraphrase from my friend Warren Wiersbe's book. It's called Word by Word, a chapter by chapter handbook of the Bible. And in this particular chapter, he had an interesting comment. I always like to cross-reference things after I study them to see what others may think. And Warren Wiersbe says it this way: times of chastening or suffering may seem spiritually barren to you, but God uses them to birth blessings. Times of sorrow and reproach are painful, but they can lead to greater joys. Storms are frightening, but they polish God's jewels and bring him glory. It is painful to go through the furnace, but God uses the experience to make you a stronger and better tool. Hang on, the best is yet to come, end quote. I am excited when I think about what God's promised for you and me. Yes, it's difficult days. Hang in there. Hang in there. The best is yet to come. May you find encouragement from that today. May the Lord bless your day as you look to him and follow his direction. God bless you. I hope to see you again tomorrow.